This is unbelievable. Karl-Anthony Towns is dealing with so many things in his personal life right now, but he's pushing all of that aside to play for the Knicks. We also have to discuss the Knicks injury report because a number of Knicks players have now appeared on it. We're going to break down all of these latest reports today. But before we get started, about 54% of you watching this video right now are not subscribed to the channel. We are still on that mission to try to reach 50,000 subscribers, and we could really use your support. If you enjoy daily Knicks content like this, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button because it could really support all the great content that we're creating for you. And now, let's get started. Towns makes a shocking decision. We discussed yesterday that Karl-Anthony Towns is currently dealing with a significant personal issue. We dropped the video on exactly what issue he's dealing with. So if you want more information about that, check out the video that we dropped yesterday. But according to reports, Karl-Anthony Towns was set to miss multiple games because of that issue that he's dealing with. But in a shocking move, the Knicks announced the following report about Towns and his status for the road trip. Shout out to Ian Bagley and Steve Popper, two great NBA insiders, for giving us the following information. According to them, Karl-Anthony Towns will be available tonight against the Los Angeles Lakers. He is not on the injury report after missing Tuesday's game due to personal reasons. And Steve Popper confirms this report by stating, according to a league source, Towns is available tonight against the Lakers. Towns is dealing with a number of things, injuries and a number of personal issues. If anyone would understand if a player was going to miss time here, everybody would understand if Towns did. But he knows, whether he wants to admit it or not, the Knicks need Karl-Anthony Towns in order to win games. We all understand that right now, he is dealing with a significant personal issue going on within his family circle. And that could throw anybody off. Anybody would probably ask for time away, time off, or take a number of games off. But not Karl-Anthony Towns. He sees what's going on in the Knicks right now. He understands that at this very moment, we are limited with the players we have available, the players we have access to. And if he doesn't play, it just leaves us even more vulnerable and even more limited at the center position. And if he didn't play, nobody would fault him. Nobody would ever call him out for it because everybody would understand he's dealing with something at this level, this significant. Mentally, you're probably not in the right state of mind to even play basketball. But look at what he's trying to do. He is putting everything on the line, trying to play for this Knicks team because he understands right now, if he plays, it gives the Knicks the best chance to win, to go on a great win streak on this road trip. And that's important. It's also important that he takes care of his personal life and his mental health because that's number one and number two in anybody's life. I already had respect for Karl-Anthony Towns before, but after hearing this, after seeing this, he's going through all of these issues, clearly going through injuries as well too. So resting could have a double benefit for him. But he sees the Knicks, he sees the struggle, and he understands what the city wants, what the city needs. And he's putting those needs in a way ahead of his own. How can you not love that? How can you not respect that? How can you not understand how hard it is for anybody going through this to do something like this? If he didn't have your respect before, I hope now he's earned it. Because Karl-Anthony Towns, his level of play this season, what he's doing now for this team, it is just on another level. I've not seen it before. And honestly, I am so happy that we have players like this that will do anything possible if it means the Knicks winning. Towns, it's just unbelievable what he's doing right now. And after looking at the latest injury report released by the Knicks, it's clear Karl-Anthony Towns understands he needs to play because right now, we're extremely limited with bodies, and a number of starters for the Knicks are currently questionable headed into tonight's game against the Lakers. Shout out to New York Basketball on the app X for giving us the following information. According to them, all questionable tonight against the Lakers: OG Anunoby, left thumb sprain; Mitchell Robinson, ankle recovery; Precious Achiuwa, left hamstring tightness. In addition to those players, according to Ian Bagley, New York is also listing Pacome Dadier and Tyler Kolek as questionable because they are with the Westchester Knicks today. Westchester plays at Austin Spurs today. Austin's head coach is Scott King, a former New York Knicks coach on Tom Thibodeau's staff. And after the following injury report that was just received, it's pretty clear. This is exactly why Towns is pushing himself to return earlier than necessary. Because look at all the players that are listed on the report. Besides Mitchell Robinson, OG Anunoby listed again with a different injury. Now, it's a left thumb sprain. If he wasn't already injured enough, you have to add another injury to his list. And then our other remaining big man in Precious Achiuwa, he is also questionable with a left hamstring strain. We got to remember, to start the season, he missed games because of a hamstring injury. And now he has another hamstring injury. Obviously, we don't know the severity of this hamstring injury, but you never want to see any player, especially your bigs, deal with these type of injuries. Look at the injury report. Karl-Anthony Towns may not be there, but besides Towns, our other two centers are listed there. And Achiuwa is more of a forward for this team than a center. We need to address the depth situation. Right now, it's starting to concern me. Honestly, it's always concerned me. But this injury report makes it even more clear why the Knicks need depth at the center position. We are limited to two centers in Mitchell Robinson and Karl-Anthony Towns. One of those centers is on a minutes restriction, and the other one is dealing with a number of injuries. Throughout this entire season, he's been dealing with knee injuries. Are we going to ask him to play 30-plus minutes, returning as well too, dealing with everything he's dealing with mentally? Do we think that's a recipe for success? Because in my opinion, it concerns me even more. Looking at this injury report, it's clear we have an issue with either utilizing our depth or having access to our depth. We are playing our guys, specifically our starters, heavy minutes. I'm not talking about every game, but most games. Close games, the starters are playing a ton of minutes, and we're getting close to the postseason. Do we want our starters playing this many minutes at this point in time, or do we want to save that for the games that matter in the playoffs? We are limited with players. We're not utilizing our bench enough, and honestly, we need more size on this team. Look at our center depth. I already mentioned it, but look at the injury report. Precious Achiuwa's on that list. Mitchell Robinson's on that list. That means the only available true center that we have is Karl-Anthony Towns, and he's dealing with his own set of issues. This is not the situation you want to be in if you're the Knicks. We need to address this situation, and it's so easy to do it. One final roster spot open. Moses Brown just sitting there, available. Go after him. Add him. Address this situation so we don't regret it a couple of days from now. Another team will add Moses Brown, and then we're never going to get another opportunity to sign him and add him to our team. Do we want to take that risk? Because I know I don't. 7'2" monsters don't grow on trees. He plays defense the right way, and I think under head coach Tom Thibodeau, he would get better in all the ways he needs to get better for this team. Remember, it's not all about the time that you play on the floor. It's also if you're available during practice and if you can push the team during practice and make them better. That's another role for him. We need to sign him to that final roster spot. I understand TJ. I understand Chuma. I love those guys. I would love to add one of those guys. But right now, I'm more concerned with our center depth than our wing depth, because our wings, relatively, they stay healthy. Our centers, They normally are always missing games on the injury report, always something concerning with them. We need to address that situation. We need to add another player there, whether it's Moses Brown, Mo Bamba, or somebody else that I'm not thinking about that can play a center position. We need to add that player because right now it is clear. The way Tom Thibodeau is coaching this team, the limited players we have access to, come the postseason, we are not going to have a fully healthy squad because we continue to play our squad through the injuries that they're dealing with. That is not a recipe for success. Look at Karl-Anthony Towns. He's probably dealing with injuries and also mental hurdles as well too. And he's pushing himself to come back because he understands, he knows he needs to come back or the Knicks are going to be even more limited with the players that we can put out there. This is just a ridiculous situation to be in. And honestly, it's so easy to fix if we utilize our depth, play the bench, and also find players that we can add to this team that address the situation we need to address. And let me say it again, if I haven't said it enough times already. Moses Brown is the perfect player for this team right now. We need a center. We need to address size. We need a player that can come in and fit right away. Moses Brown checks all the boxes. And as of right now, given the injury report, given all of the issues that all of our centers are dealing with, if we don't add another center to this roster soon, we are going to live to regret that move. But what about you guys? What do you think about the following report indicating that Towns is making a shocking move, pushing through all the hurdles he's dealing with, and has made himself available for tonight's game against the Lakers? And what about the other players on the injury report for tonight's game? OG Anunoby, Mitchell Robinson, and Precious Achiuwa. Let me know how you feel about that in the comment section below, guys, because honestly, I would love to hear from you. But that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, go ahead and smash that like button, leave a comment below. And of course, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Knicks fans, take care of yourself, your families, and each other. Peace and love.